She didn't really get it in. Then I had to run over to court 59. It's no more relationship building, and she looked and they're talking.
Oh my God!
It's like the game's going.
Yeah.
God say, hey, we gonna go over here in Timbuktu. That's where I'm gonna go. I play basketball because I loved basketball.
You're not gonna be able to pay me enough. Like,
you Michael Jordan over here by yourself.
Yeah.
And guess what? We was gonna see you.
Cool.
I did my part. Shout out to Jason Key now.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Shout
my
out
guy.
to
When we got 10 courts to be at. So when I'm at this 26-year-old on my team right now, turning 27. Y'all got the heat. Coach, like I'm not out here playing with y'all. Like I won't win games. I'm lucky to do that right now. I'm not gonna say your names now. All right.
Shout out to y'all.
I'm here for y'all. All right. Do what you know you can do. Ooh, NIL.
Yeah.
Easy.
Ooh. When recruiting.
You want to bite on a kid, but you don't want to bite too early. That waiting is dangerous.
Yes, like
Nebraska. I tried a lot of things. Seriously. Now for the high school babies. Go to work and get sick.
Yeah. The AAU portal is a real thing.
The grass
is not
always greener. This is too much for the kids and
Parents, basketball parents, girls of basketball parents. You have been looking for something where you can get tools and resources of how to create a highlight tape, how to DM a coach, how to email a coach. You want a place where you can ask questions. You want to feel like you got a sense of community. Well, I have the perfect thing for you. It's called the Different Community. We have bi-weekly Q&A calls with myself. We have quarterly calls where we're going to teach you different things, or I'll bring on another expert where we're going to teach together. And you get to celebrate your offers together with other parents. You get to ask other parents because, yes, the parents communicate with each other in the community. And guess what? It's only $27 a month. Yes, you heard that. $27 a month. The info is in the description, and I need you in the community. Let's go on this road together. And while you're at it, get 15% off because I'm feeling generous. 15% off of merch. Link is in the bio. Link is in the description. It's Just Different Apparel.com. Check it out.
Welcome to It's Just Different podcast. We bring on people who have been where you're trying to go and or have helped countless athletes get there. Y'all, we got a late night session. But I got my girl Jaelyn with me, assistant coach at Nebraska Omaha, certified bucket getter. I mean, I just can't get over the clip I saw. You was getting buckets.
Yeah, that's crazy. I got a lot of heat for that too. Like my kids was like, I can't believe you made a highlight. Like it was insane.
So you do this all the time?
Yeah, I usually practice. Coach likes for us to get out there with the girls. Obviously we have that experience. So I get out there when I can, when I want to, when I feel like it, you know, for the most part.
Is that like your exercise?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it also, because a lot of people kind of want to know like, hey, you don't miss playing. Like, I think that handles it. Like, that's enough for me. Like, scratches that itch and then I'm cool. So,
yeah, no, I like it. Jaelyn, we start this podcast off with something that's different. Name of the podcast called It's Just Different. I think the game is different, whether good or bad. What would you say is different as it relates to recruiting now versus back then?
Whoo, NIL.
Yeah.
Easy. Like easy NIL. I think kids nowadays want to know what can you give them. And I think it just makes everything more complex, more intricate. It's no more relationship building and knowing how you will fit into a program and what it is, like what your impact going to be is more so like, what you gonna give me?
Yeah.
You know, compared to like so-and-so's gonna give me this. Like what you gonna give me?
Yeah.
That kind of, it takes away the art of it, I think. You know, so.
How do you feel? I mean, you just said it kind of taking away the art of it, but like, how do you feel it's like affecting the game?
It's interesting because a lot of things are changing. And so I just kind of think the landscape is like the Wild Wild West. It's no structure, it's no rules. It's kind of rule, but then they'll change it. So it's gonna get intricate. It's gonna keep getting intricate. I don't know how we can, you know, kind of structure it.
Yeah,
but it's freedom. I mean, I think they deserve it. Obviously, you deserve to make money for, you know, what you're capable of and how these universities are making money off of you. Like, I get that. I absolutely get it. I wish I had the opportunity.
I was going to say, you wish you had NIL when you was playing?
Man, I would have a whole team put on. So, you know, like, I think it's definitely deserving. I just think they need to figure out a way to regulate make more rules to better control it, I think.
Yeah, if you had to think of some rules or what you think it would look like, what would that be?
Well, let me say, okay, like the example with the LSU's quarterback. I don't know if you know that. And then like Michigan offered him $10 million and he took it.
And he took it.
So he decommitted and took it. Like, that's insane. Like, who's gonna pass up $10
million? Right.
So to me, I don't even know how you can make it a rule.
Yeah.
And they don't know how you can make it a rule.
Because I feel like it seemed like at the end of the day, whoever giving the most money is like, that's where they going.
That's what it seems like. And it's like, what my coworker feels like that's a lot of pressure for that kid. Like, now you have to come and now you have to perform. I didn't get you $10 million, which overstood, but you also are giving me $10 million. Like, I'm going to the $10 million. Facts. I've never had $10 million. I want $10 million.
Facts. I don't care what y'all talking about. If I can get this education, give me $10 million now.
Get a 10 ball, nothing crazy. But I mean, it's deserving. I don't know what a rule in place would look like. Hasn't really affected me at this level just yet. But I know it's coming. I know everybody's going to feel it at some point.
Yeah. And why do you feel it hasn't affected y'all yet? I just kind of the kids we go after. Yeah.
If I'm being honest. I mean, obviously we're going after kids that can make an impact and that can change the culture and move it the direction we want it to go. But we're also really into relationship building. Like we really talk to our kids. It's not I'm just here because you're on this list and let me throw some money at you. That's not us. We're very intentional about who we want to represent us.
That's good.
Yeah.
Jaelyn, what made you get into coaching?
I've tried a lot of things. Seriously. Like graduating in COVID, it was interesting. The world shut down. I think that's a very interesting time to graduate. Like, what is there to do? We were on lockdown for the first time. I don't think there's ever been another pandemic. And so I had to figure it out. I originally was going to go into medical school, but COVID was a wake up call. I was like, whoa, you can go to work and get sick? Yeah. Oh, no.
Miss me with that.
People are dying. So didn't do the medical school route. I got my degree in kinesiology. So I always am physical, wanted to do something with like strength and conditioning, training. So I did a little bit of that. I reffed a little bit. I worked in retail. I'm very artsy. I love fashion. I'm multifaceted. So I scratched all of them. And then I got an opportunity to coach. My first opportunity was at Florida Gulf Coast State. Shout out to Rory.
Yeah.
But first opportunity, and I loved it. I couldn't have had a better squad. My first game, like out there just, coaching, giving them the keys, like talking to them and they're listening and it's working. I was like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah. And how old were you at that time?
I was, that was 2 years ago, 23, turning 24. Yeah. Insane.
Did you find that like challenging being like you're close in age with a lot of the athletes?
Luckily, they used to get on my nerves. So like my boss never had to worry about that. But I know that was something that was always at that level because people are getting young assistants at the JUCO level. It's like, oh, y'all are close in age. The maturity had to be at a certain level. Like the expectation was set. And so for me, it wasn't as challenging. My kids respected me. And then I got out there and played. So they respected me for what I brought to the table. And I was serious in the coach. Like, I'm not out here playing with y'all. Like, I want to win games. And we won a lot of games. So it was great. We had a phenomenal season. Like a 1-of-1. I would go back and do it again 10 times over.
I love it. Now, was there a love to play overseas or did
COVID, I never really, so like all my life, I never wanted to play basketball professionally. I played basketball because I loved basketball. Like I asked my mom the other day, after the Olympics, I'm 5'2". So I asked my mom, I was like, why didn't you make me a gymnast? Like, hello, did you not see me? I've been this short my whole life. She was like, girl, you was outside playing basketball. So I was like, okay.
One of them ones though.
Right. So she was like, are you serious? Like you don't remember you was outside playing basketball? I was like, okay, I guess that's valid. And so I didn't really, that was never a goal of mine. I understood you play basketball, you get a scholarship, you go to college. Yeah. That's what I understood. So once it was over, I was cool. Yeah. Hey, I'll see y'all. If I'd have got that extra COVID year, I'd have been at University of Hawaii or something. I've been chilling. It'd have been great.
That's so dope to hear though, because like that's how I was. Like, I mean, I feel like we all had those dreams when we were younger. Like me, I want to be like Cheryl Swoops. I want to do this, and I'm sure all of us was like, we want to be the first girl to play in the NBA. Right. All this stuff.
Loving basketball.
There you go. But as I got older, like high school for me, I was like I don't want to play in the league. Like, and people would look at me crazy, and I'm like. And I feel like that was hard. Like a lot of people thought like just because you play basketball, that should be your dream to go play in the league and do these different things. At the end of the day, I love money. Like that was me.
Okay.
And I was like, WNBA, they not gonna be able to pay me enough. Like, so that was my thing. I wanted to use basketball to get a free education.
I think that's another good point too, because like the WNBA wasn't what the WNBA is at the moment. Not that the talent wasn't there, but the level just it wasn't the same.
Right.
So I can see the push. I love that there's a push for, more people watching and being engaged in women's sports. But that wasn't our reality.
Yeah, not at all. So I'm like, listen, I can go do so many other things than go out here hurting my body. Like, listen, I need to use this game. And I always talk about that, like, use the game, don't let it use you. And for me, it was like, I want to reward my parents. Like, they spend money on AAU. They get all these different things. I don't want them to pay for school. So let me use basketball, get this free education. And when it's time for me to be done,
I'm cool.
I am cool.
I did my part.
Okay,
Thank you.
Did that.
No, for sure.
Been in Nebraska. Now where else have you coached at?
Just Florida Gulf Coast State.
Okay, and then you came to Nebraska. What made you say yes to Nebraska Omaha?
Oh man. Well, one is a step up. Like a goal for me is to always move forward. I don't want to go anywhere laterally. I want to go forward. And so getting back to the Division I level was a goal. I still have more goals in regards to where I want to be. And I wasn't looking for a job at the time. I don't think I was. I don't think I was searching. It just kind of came random. Shout out to Jason Key now. Yeah. All right, that's my guy. That's my guy. And so he kind of hit me up and was like, hey, I got a really good friend of mine looking for a young assistant. So she called, I talked to her. What's crazy is she offered me the job. I had picked up like 3 offers that week. So I was like, me and my pops, we flew to Omaha just to check it out before I took it. We just flew to Omaha. I think before I took it. I don't know. Somewhere in there. And when I got to Omaha, I was like, okay, I see the vision. Yeah. I see it. Because who's thinking of Omaha, Nebraska? Yeah. Like when she was like Nebraska, I was like, whoa. Like, Nebraska. No. So I had to go out there and see it for myself. And I was like, oh yeah, no, this, I can do this.
And what was it that made you?
It's the city. Like the city has so much to offer. I think.
In Nebraska?
Yes. Yes. I think the last time I had a talk with you, it was just like, it's hard to get kids past the fact that it's Nebraska. Yeah. But you have to come and see it. And so for me to go out there and see it, being from a big city like Houston, it had stuff to offer. Like the food is amazing. I'm a foodie. Yeah. The food is amazing. What? I wasn't even really worried about the basketball program. Really? At the time. I mean, I knew that she was in the building phase, which last year, we were. This year we got the ball rolling right now. And so that's going really well. But for me, I think in this career, in this profession, I don't want to kind of be stuck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. If it's a blessing, I'm going to take it, like right foot after left. If God say, hey, we're going to go over here in Timbuktu, that's where I'm going to go. But I would like to be somewhere where I can thrive outside of work. I think Omaha provides that, most definitely.
That's good to know because I just hear Nebraska Omaha and I'm like, what comes to my mind is cold all the time. Yeah. Middle of nowhere. Like that's literally what comes to my mind. Like nothing to do.
Which is fair. Yeah. Being from the South. Yeah. But like Creighton's in Omaha. Not a lot of people know that.
I did not know that. I did not know
Creighton's in Omaha. We host the baseball World Series every year for college. Like it's stuff to do. Like people are coming. We got a professional volleyball team. We have hockey. We get 4 seasons. This is the first time I went somewhere and saw like the trees changing colors. I was like, this is beautiful.
Wow. That is one thing I've always said. Like I need to I want to travel to see the different seasons. But it's I'm sure it's good to be able to live somewhere and you actually get to see
absolutely
the different seasons.
You take that for granted.
Maybe here in Texas
it's hot.
And listen, first of all, earlier today it was sunny. Right. And then it was pouring down rain.
And then right now it's cold. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. But I don't miss the Texas heat. I can say that. Y'all got the heat. Y'all got
I'll take that over the cold though.
I think when it's cold outside, you just getting to where you're going. Yeah. And then you're inside. Yeah. You're not outside just talking, having a conversation. No. We getting to where we're going. When it's hot outside, it's hot.
I feel that.
It's hot outside. It's hot in the car.
I feel that.
Everybody got an attitude.
Everybody mad at this point.
You can laid your edges. Now your edges then curl. Yeah, it's tough.
Get you to some code.
Mm-hmm.
No, not to the code, but just get you out the heat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel that. Jaelyn, I have seen you at event after event after event. What do you look for when you're at these events? What do you look for in these players?
Well, I mean, at this point right now, being that this is so early in my career, when I come to Texas, it's just getting familiar.
Yeah.
I think it's getting familiar with the programs, meeting people, and if I see a kid that I'm able to follow, which I'm lucky to do that right now. I'm not gonna say your names now. All right.
Shout out to y'all.
I'm here for y'all. All right. But my ultimate goal is to get some Texas kids to Nebraska.
Yeah.
Like it's just different in Texas. And so coming here as a hub, I'm looking for that energy and effort that we bring down in the South. Because it's different. It legit is. And then just I would say specifically, because I know a lot of people look for certain things. I like defensive kids.
Yeah.
I like kids that's going to play some defense. Now, obviously, if you're able to score the ball and facilitate and dribble, all that good stuff, that's a plus. But for me to defend and rebound, you're going to play. And so I think those are the main intangibles. But my coach always said, there's 5 things that's going to get you some playing time. This is Nikki Fargas. She was like, dribble, facilitate, rebound, score, and defend. The more of those you know how to do, the more minutes you're going to play.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a business meeting. Like, this is a team meeting. This is what she said. And we understood it. Like, okay, got it. Now you know what you need to work on. And so I'm going to stick with do what you know you can do.
Yeah.
Like, be the best at what you do. Bring that. Don't go out there trying to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Because that's not your route. That's not your lane. Like, run your race.
Yeah.
And so when I see kids being true to themselves, but also playing defense and rebounding, I gotta write their name down.
Yeah, I love that.
I gotta come back and see him.
I love that. Speaking of that, shout out to Sonia Kawaja, who's at Vandergrift, doing a thing. Had a great high school season. Look forward to seeing what she do this AAU season. What are some red flags you would say that you see in parents and players when you when recruiting?
You know what's interesting? I just saw some red flags in parents today. I never really pay attention to the crowd, but the crowd was going crazy in the last few games. And it's like, y'all are distracting like the purpose, like the reason that we're here. It's not for you to get into it with the refs and the table and talk to the other parents. And like, I think that's just too much. But I will say, because like when I was a player, many years ago, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
AAU wise, when you're a player, you're not paying attention to none of that anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know the drama my mama was going through in the politics of AAU and other people's parents. So did it really affect me? No. And I don't think, like it brought any attention to college coaches. But right now, hey, these parents, they loud, they rowdy in the stands, which I get it. Hey, be all for your kids, be supportive and all that. But at some point, it's like, not be distracted.
Yeah. So what does that look like? Because when you say, okay, they loud or they rowdy, is that them cheering or is that them trying to get their kid attention, telling them what to do?
Man, like I saw parents having conversations with their kids in the middle of the game. Like they're shooting a free throw and she looked and they're talking to each other.
Oh my God.
It's like the game's going on. Like y'all tweaking right now. And so I mean, I think but that's also on the programs too, because like you got to nip that in the bud too. Like you can't allow that for your kids at the collegiate level. It's not going to work. And so you shouldn't. I mean, I wouldn't allow it now. Kid wise, like red flags that I think would just attitude, lack of effort. We can tell when kids are nonchalant or not giving all of what they have. And it's like you're wasting your potential. Yeah, just go out there and give it your all. And not try to save it. Like, oh, I want to save it so I can play 40 minutes. No. I want to see you exhausted. I want to see you go give me a hard 3 minutes. And if you got 5, that's even better. And then now I can get you a sub, I can get you back in there, and now you can play, you can maintain at that level. As opposed to holding back. I don't, that would be the red flags, I think.
Yeah. Now, you talked about the 5 things earlier. How do you determine if a kid, and we just kind of talked about even with their parents and players, but how do you determine if a kid is the right fit for Nebraska Omaha?
I think taking a look at your team, like Nebraska Omaha, who are we returning? And what pieces do we need? I think that for the most part helps in recruiting and not just going out and seeing everybody that's good and like, oh, I want her. Like you have to be able to fit and dictating that role early, having that conversation of this is how I see you. This is the things that I think you can work on. These are the things that are going to help us when you come. And so really based off, I think, current roster building. And then it's complicated because now you have the change in the JUCO rule and then you have the portal. And so it's like you want to bite on a kid, but you don't want to bite too early.
It's hard.
It's like, ooh, I like you, but it's like, ooh. And at the same time, I think that like kids at the high school level are kind of like towing the line and just kind of like waiting. But that waiting is dangerous.
Yes.
The portal's going to open soon.
The portal
is serious. And so it's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. Let's talk about that for a second. Like, first of all, I want to talk about the new JUCO rule. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I think for programs that are going to recruit these kids, it's a big plus. It's a big win. I was talking to Jason earlier, and it's an opportunity for them education-wise to go get everything. Go get
baby, because you can get a PhD at this point. Go get it. I said, listen, if this would have been me, I would have I'm going to strategically do this, and I'm going to finish with a PhD. Like,
absolutely. But I don't think they see it like that. The kids don't see it like that at this point. I wish we should push that. Like we should advise that.
You can 100%. You can 100% get your master's,
baby.
Like
them degrees in the real world, they're gonna take you where you want to go. And so that aspect of it, I think, is a big plus. Now for the high school babies, that's where it gets interesting because it's like, I mean, I can like you a lot and I can want you, but it's like, okay, I didn't sign a freshman. A pure freshman. Now we finna go play the Monstars because they done got 10 people out the portal. They done got 10 people from the SEC. They got some JUCO kids, probably from Trinity Valley or something. Like,
listen, baby,
we shaking in your boots. So I think that part is definitely interesting. But it will. I mean, it's gonna funnel. Like the kids are gonna funnel to the JUCO wave. Get their education and then funnel out. And then also maybe the portal numbers will be down.
Yeah.
Because of the COVID year.
Yeah.
Like this should be the last cycle. Maybe.
Yeah. Now I seen another rule. I don't know what that rules was about. I don't even remember what it was, but it was basically about people getting a whole nother year.
I think it was something similar to something about along the lines of if they just transferred in and maybe had 1 year left.
Yeah.
Like if it was their last year, but they just came from a JUCO or something, then they will get granted another year for 25, 26.
I said, at this point, we finna at this point, we finna have 25, 26-year-olds.
Yeah.
Playing.
I have a 26-year-old on my team right now turning 27. Yeah.
And again, that's what makes it hard about these high school. Yeah, you are 18. Some of these athletes are going to be 10 years older than you.
These are young adults. They're serious. Not that you guys aren't. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But that's just the stakes.
And that's an age difference. Yeah, like
that's the stakes. I think it's interesting with the high school level, like waiting as long as they do, like playing it out.
Yeah.
Is that what you did?
No.
Like, was that familiar for you?
No, and I think a lot of things go into that. Like, one, I still don't think people give JUCO the respect that it needs to be given.
Absolutely.
Honestly. Like, and I don't know that I can really, I will say it's different now because I played JUCO. I played the South Plains. And JUCO wasn't like it is now. Like, I feel like now you get maximum exposure. And depending on the JUCO, when I was at JUCO, you still got that, but it just wasn't as hyped.
Right.
So when I tore my ACL my junior year in high school, and Coach Mudd, RIP Coach Mudd, I played with DFW Elite, and he told me, like, he called me Ash Mama. He's like, Ash Mama, you need to go JUCO. I wasn't trying to hear it.
Right. Who's trying to hear that?
I was not trying to hear. I had literally every school in the Big 12 was on me heavy, like, except for Texas, actually, which is crazy.
Which is crazy.
But they were the only one that wasn't on me. So I'm like, I think I knew it wasn't like a false thing or like, oh, I think I can go play there. Like I knew I could play in the Big 12. And at that time, you didn't have a transfer portal. So it was hard. Right. I still had Division I offers, but I knew I could play in the Big 12. So he's like, ask mama, you should go JUCO. And I'm like, no, like I'm not doing it. Like, because I thought it was for people who didn't have the grades. Right. Or at the end of the day, you wasn't that good. Right. And I'm like, I don't fit neither one of them.
That's not me. I don't know who that is.
I don't fit it. So I wasn't even trying to hear it. And I think now, like, people still have that conception of like, oh, if you go JUCO, you ain't got good grades or you're not that good. Like, I still feel like it's that way no matter how much you talk about it. So I think it's hard. Like, people don't really...
Yeah. Like, respect it for what it is.
Yep.
And at this point now...
First off, thank you so much for tuning into the episode. But I need you to do me a little favor. I need you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button. While you at it, tap the like button so more people like you can find this episode. Hit that subscribe button and let's get back to the episode.
Oh, hey.
You ain't got no choice.
Like, you got a little bit more to it.
Yes.
But no, I definitely think it's a phenomenal segue. Especially for the kids that maybe didn't get the exposure.
Yeah.
I think about Texas all the time. It's a lot of kids in Texas.
So many kids.
Huge. It's 2 tournaments going on right now. It's 10 schools to be
at. It's huge.
And so maybe those kids getting overlooked in situations like that.
Yeah.
Or you're not as good on your high school team as you are in AAU. But when you're at the JUCO level, we're coming. We're coming to.
They're gonna be there, like
whether it's a jamboree, the national tournament. We're gonna watch it on. Like, JUCO games are streamed. I think it's finding a good JUCO program.
Yeah,
not wasting and just going to a bum JUCO. Right. Obviously. But those good JUCO programs we know about, like, they've been good for years.
So how can the parents, because some parents, they might not know, how can they determine if this is the right JUCO or a good JUCO for my kid to go to?
Now, that part is interesting because I know at our level, not at our level, but at Florida Gulf Coast State, it's not like we're having visits. You know what I mean? Like, we had a lot of foreign kids on our team.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure the recruiting scope for everyone else at that level.
Yeah.
Like, I see Trinity Valley's coach I see her.
She at everything.
I see her everywhere.
Everything.
Kilgore everywhere.
Yeah.
So I know they're out, and then they're in the hub.
Yeah.
So lucky for them. I think everybody knows who they are. Parent wise, I think just maybe paying more attention to JUCO basketball as an option. Because if we're being honest, are parents really paying attention to Division I basketball?
No.
At the end of the day, Division I football.
Yeah. Or at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest. The schools that would not recruit them. Like, everybody is like, they know about the Texas, they know about the Duke, they know about the UConn, they know about North, like they know about them schools, but it's like, let's do some research.
Yeah, let's do some research.
Where you actually go.
Let's do some research. And at that level, it's hard to recruit at JUCO. It was for me. But that was also my first year.
Yeah.
So I'm like a fish in the water. Like, I'm new to it. Good program, bit easier.
Yeah.
But still, and so it's gonna be convincing these kids. And that with the new rule, it should be a little bit easier.
It will be. It'll be easier.
A little bit easier. And I know the scope for JUCO is a bit different as well because everybody's not getting full scholarships too.
Yeah.
So some schools, they have to pay for where they're gonna stay. Like, I get that. But it's about the experience. It's about the school. And then it's about the basketball. Yeah. It's gonna get you to where you want to go.
And at the end of the day, I feel like parents have to ask those questions because the I don't know if I want to say the right JUCO, but most JUCOs, if it's the right one and you're the right kid, it's gonna be full scholarship.
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
You're gonna get those things. And I feel like parents just have to ask those questions. Like, if the goal is to play Division I basketball, you got the right circle around you, and they're telling you, hey, I think you should go JUCO, like, because we know these D1 coaches are gonna look at these JUCO kids.
We're coming.
They're gonna be there.
We're gonna be there.
And I tell parents all today and all the time, and no disrespect to no D2, no disrespect at all. I think free school is free school.
Absolutely.
But I believe if you are a kid who can truly play at the Division I level,
we're gonna find you.
You gotta go. I think you gotta go JUCO. I think that you could be found at a D2, but I feel like you got to put up some serious numbers at
Absolutely.
the end of the day if you're going to go D2.
Because everybody's going to think about your competition.
Yes.
Like, you're doing it against them.
Yes.
But who else can you do it against?
Yes.
Like,
and I feel like
these kids.
Yes. And I feel like the Division I coaches, they get to see the JUCO kids. Like, there's not a lot where you're going to go, in my opinion, go watch
a Division II tournament.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day.
You might go for the first day.
But it's so many opportunities. Again, you said the Jamboree. That's before season even started.
Hey, that's before a week. I'm telling you.
So, like, I think that, and again, I think if you can go to a Division II school and that's what you want to do and you want to set records, it all depends on your goal, right? But I believe if your goal is to get to the D1 level and you not putting up crazy numbers, JUCO is a great option.
JUCO, I'm gonna always be an advocate for JUCO.
Like,
absolutely. And then back to your point on parents asking the questions, because the kids aren't going to ask them. The kids don't know to ask them. And so I agree that the parents should be doing this research and kind of goal setting and planning and figuring out a way to get to where it is they want to go, instead of just kind of throwing it in the air and crossing their fingers. Because, baby, Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild
West. We changed the name of this episode to Wild Wild West.
Facts. Because it is the Wild Wild West.
It's insane. It's
insane. It's crazy. Yeah. Do you believe if you good enough, we'll find you?
I do. Do I think it's challenging? Yes. I think the two can exist. I think that both can be true. Because what if you're good, but your program isn't? That's
why I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't believe it fully. Like, I think it has to be context to that. Like, because I see so many kids that's good, and they ain't been found because of various reasons.
Right.
Meaning, maybe you played on the wrong AAU team.
Right.
Maybe you didn't put enough exposure on your own page. Maybe you didn't do these different things. I believe if you good enough, they'll find you when you got the right people. Like,
well, yeah,
I feel like you gotta be put in a situation for them to find you. Like,
I think that obviously that works, right? But let's say I don't have any of that. I think in this profession there are people that are searching high and low. And so that's why I'm on the take of, if you're good, we'll find you. Because we're going to find out who scored 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 points in their high school season, where their team was good or not. It's like, hey, who was this kid? Who they play for?
But that goes back to, you got to put up crazy numbers.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, you got to put up crazy numbers. What we talking about? It's not crazy insane, but I think that's enough for a look. That's a minimum for a look. You don't think?
Yes, it is. Okay, so so listen.
Like, is that insane?
Oh, okay. I know an athlete.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say the athlete name. You know the same athlete.
Her.
I asked you about the athlete. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Okay. And you don't have to really comment on this, but I think that she's a Division I player. I don't think she played. I don't think she got the exposure needed.
I can say that's fair.
And she's good.
She didn't get the exposure needed for the program for her.
Okay. Yes.
Because people saw her. Maybe she just wasn't the fit for it. She was seen. Hey,
okay.
That was
Okay. That's a good point. That's a good point. She wasn't.
Hey, we recognize.
That's a good point.
Hey, I know you're talking about. I know I seen that kid.
Yeah,
that kid. Yeah, but that kid's just not. That's not the kid for where we want.
That's a good point. But okay. Listen, but I feel like, okay, you did make a point because she was seen. Because she was seen. But was she seen enough? Now we don't went deeper into that. Yeah. But
now we go back to maybe JUCO is an option.
Yeah.
Maybe JUCO is an option. If you didn't get what you wanted from it. And then also, not to speak on her specifically, but you gotta think about these itty bitty towns in Texas. Like in far El Paso and up there, it's like, ooh, because they're not coming to these Christmas tournaments. At least not some of the kids that I feel like I've talked to that I liked. Maybe seen them at TABC and was like, wow. But it's like, when am I going to have an opportunity to see them again? And then recruiting in the summer. Oh man, recruiting in the summer is overwhelming. overwhelming. Okay. My first experience was obviously this year. And it's like you have so many kids to see.
That's why I don't believe if you're good enough, they'll find you.
You have so many kids to see that you've already seen that are your kids, right? Like your list.
My point. You have
it's
a
gotta
list.
be some stragglers in there though. It's some people in there with no, like, okay, me in this tournament this weekend.
Mhm.
Like I don't have anybody at this tournament. I'm just here at this tournament to
Right.
see. Maybe I can add to this list. So people, well, I don't know. I would imagine that people are approaching summer AAU tournaments the same way.
For sure. So let's help those parents out though, and let's help those players. Like what are some things, because there are going to be some kids that they're not known about yet, right? But they gonna put up some big numbers. They're gonna have a great season. They're gonna do these different things. Like what should they do to help their chances about getting seen if they're not getting coaches at their games?
I would say the first thing, especially for this generation, is technology.
Please, first of all, please use your social media.
Now, and you don't have to be viral, but create an account with a bio, what school. I mean, you don't have to put all of this in there, but it helps us when we're looking at this roster and we want to go check out this kid, and then we type in your name on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. And we can see something. We can see some clips.
First of all, you can find them because you don't see Ashley Roberts in the book, but on Twitter, it's going to say, Lil Baby 23. And it's like, ma'am, I can't even find you.
Right. Like, create it. I am all for being able to find these kids online. Because at least I can follow you. Yeah. Now, you know, hey, this coach might be interested. Like she's clicked on, and I'm big. I see it. I like click follow. Yeah. Hopefully you looking for me in the gym the next day.
Yeah,
you know?
That's good.
And so creating those profiles, getting those clips out there. It doesn't have to be anything intricate. I mean, I think a profile is enough. But the more you do, people are going to talk about you.
Yeah.
High school's going to post about you. Random people are going to post about you. Get the retweeting and kind of build that program. And then it's so easy for these kids to go viral.
It is.
Get on TikTok. Like a dance or something. That's what y'all want to do anyway.
Anyway.
You know, use your social media platform as an opportunity to express yourself fully. Like we want to get to know you that way as well. Throw your basketball stuff on there so we can see.
Yeah.
And then we can follow you and you don't have to post your schedules to these tournaments, but it helps.
Yes, for sure.
It helps to know what court you're on. I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, most definitely, I would easily say social media for them. They operate in it well. Didn't do iPhone update got me feeling like an auntie. Like I don't know what's going on.
Ma'am, I'm like, where's my pictures at?
Where's my album?
I looked at my photos. I was like, okay, I'm too old at this point because I don't know what this phone is doing.
No, that was insane. Like, where are my albums? Where are my screenshots?
Why did you not find it? Like, what?
And so, but hey, they thrive there. So use it. Use it to your advantage. Like, absolutely use it.
Is there a thing as too much? Is there a thing as parents messaging coaches too much? They're posting way too much. Like, is that a such thing?
I don't think so. Well, the messaging, maybe.
Yeah.
Because not every coach. Well, I mean, like I can't just imagine. I'm gonna think of my coach specifically. Say she's out and now she's getting DMs from people's parents because they saw her out. I don't know how comfortable with that she would be. Now, once we get to talking to kids, like your kid, and we've shown interest, absolutely we're on the phone with parents. We on the phone with grandmas.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we getting to know everybody.
Yeah.
And so at that point, we're good. You know, we're green. I think off the rip, work it, you know, start to build that relationship first. But in regards to the amount that people post, if you don't, I mean, you don't have to see it. You don't have to pay attention to it. We don't have time to just scroll all day anyways. Like when we're on social media, we're very intentional.
Yeah.
Am I looking for somebody? Let me type them in. Back to what it is I have to do.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, so-and-so, dang, she posted. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Well, we're not doing that.
Facts.
Right. Hey, baby, we getting to work. Okay. We got a job.
And I feel like the more you post, the easier it is to be found because,
absolutely,
like you just said, y'all not on social media all day long. So you might post something and it might get missed.
Fair.
So
fair. And hopefully we see you out. Like I told you, like a goal of mine was to get familiar in the Texas area. So like I'm walking in, like, I know I've seen this kid before. Like this kid was at this school last year. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me feel good. But I would like to be able to follow you on Twitter. I don't got to get on your Instagram and TikTok. I ain't got to. I would like to follow you on Twitter. So create that account for Coach J, please.
So at the bare minimum, at least have a Twitter account.
Have a Twitter. I think it's simple. I think that's the one thing that you can see articles on too. Like people are going to post articles. And film, and it's easy. It's simple on Twitter. Nobody's going to really read. I've never read an article on Instagram. You know what I mean? I think Twitter is just easy to get new. And for our generation, Twitter is news for us. Like, if something going on in the world, we wake up, we look at Twitter.
We looking at Twitter.
We gonna learn what happened.
Baby, the first thing I'm doing is typing in that search.
Like, what's trending right now? Beyonce is all over my Twitter right now, by the way. Just Beyonce. Shout out. Thank you, Beyonce.
Thank you, Beyonce.
By the way.
Please, by the time this episode dropped, I hope you dropped the tour.
Please, or something.
Like, what was the date?
Would you like to bring us?
We can do it. Hey, I think we can do
It's just different podcasts, baby.
I love it. I think we can make it happen. You mentioned the transfer portal earlier. I think the portal numbers are so freaking high because no questions are being asked. These kids are just, NIL, but that's a whole nother thing. But these kids are just going to these schools blindly. They're going to schools without asking questions. They're going to schools because they saw the glitz and the glam of the visit. But they didn't get to the real work. They didn't really ask questions. What are some questions parents and players should be asking these coaches when they're on the visit, when they're talking to them on the phone, when you're having a conversation?
I think that applies to anybody getting recruited, whether you're in the portal, newly recruited, high school recruit. Questions that you should ask is, where do you see me? Where do you see me? What is my impact going to be? What would you like from me? Like, what parts of my game can help contribute to the success of the program? I would say that's the main thing, because I think kids can get lost in the sauce a little bit, in the big school name and the football program and the NIL, and then get there and not be happy. Mental health is a really big thing. Not to say that it wasn't, but right now, it
is a big thing.
Right now, mental health is a really big thing. And so when these kids get to the next level and it's not going how they may have thought on their own it was going to go, they're not satisfied. They're not happy in the day-to-day. They no longer like the sport. And this could be any sport. And so I just think having a clear knowing for what it is that is expected of you. Come in and say, hey, what's my role? Where would you like to see me thrive at? What do I need to work on? That way you have your tangibles and you can say you did it. And if it doesn't work out, now I came, I talked to you. I feel like I've done this, I've done that. These percentages have went up. It's not working. Okay. Maybe I should go somewhere else.
Right.
As opposed to, in my mind, I'm the star, but you got your favorites, right? And that's me versus you, my mama versus you, and at that point is too many opinions from people that probably never dribbled a ball in their life.
They don't know nothing.
So let's go get in the portal. Let's go get in the portal. Let's see some kids got stuck in the portal.
Some kids and will get
forever
stuck in the portal.
In the portal, just sitting there twirling. And then what do you want to do? Come back? Hey, coach, I'm sorry about just jumping in the portal without the conversation. Can I come back? Like, it's tough. That's why it's important to be confident in your choice. And if it doesn't work out and you have to come to that conclusion, absolutely. But those kids that aren't confident in their choices, that just go because on a whim, like, I'm going to go there. Or, you came in last minute. I'm with you. That's where it can get dicey, because if it goes great, absolutely, we've hit the lottery. But what if it doesn't? You know what I mean? And so I think that would be a great question to ask. I think another one, maybe if you could, like if the recruit is like their host, maybe talk to the girls.
I think that's huge.
Yeah, talk to the girls that are there, and see how they like it. Because you're gonna have some kids that's gonna give you a very
gonna be honest.
Give you a very honest answer, which is what I would hope you want. They're gonna give it to you real. Like, we're gonna give you the cue. This is the nice, but they're the ones that's on that baseline. In that weight room, dealing with the off the court, on the court, or anything that could potentially be happening. And so I think they have a really honest,
and they will tell you.
Oh, absolutely.
Listen, I will never forget when I am not gonna say the school, but I went on a visit. And listen, I had two of the players. It's like, don't come here. I remember going to tell my mom and daddy, like, I don't know if they told me that because they didn't want me to take their spot or they really just didn't like it. Literally was like, don't come here. This will be the worst. I said, whoa.
That is, that's insane. I think it's funny too. Have you ever had conversations with anybody that you played with that maybe went to another, say you played with them in high school, but they went to another college. And then you find out after the fact that they hated it there. It's like, wow, I would have never thought that. Like from the outside looking in, like, oh, what do you mean? They hated it. And so ask some kids. The kids gonna tell you. The kids they're gonna give it to you real. They have the experience. So firsthand.
I agree with that. And I think we talking college portal, but the AAU portal is a real thing too. The AAU portal is a real thing. What advice would you give to athletes and parents as they prepare for the AAU season, as they're preparing for what team they gonna play with? What advice would you give them?
That's tough. Cause like for me, when I was playing, the reason I only switched teams once. I went from one coach to the next coach, and my reason for going to the next coach was the tournaments that he was attending. We're going to these big exposure events. We're going to play against high level talent. So for me, that was easy. Once I was with him, I was with him. Like, this is my guy. The loyalty was there. For the kids these days, I think that's that could be a factor. But then they also have the factors of the politics behind it. I want to go, they want me, so I'm going to go play with them. And then I don't touch the floor. But where I was thriving. And we're playing on the same circuit.
I don't get it.
We're literally playing on the same circuit. But you know what? Y'all want me? Let me come over there. The grass is not always greener. Okay, the grass is greener where you water it. It's not always greener on the other side. And so I just kind of think finding your fit with that would be my best advice. Not to hop around, because I think hopping around is going to be hard to find your rotation.
And
like, how can I get in the game?
It's only you only got so long, like in a season, like
And then like you're going to these super stacked teams with all of these superstars, and the superstars have to play. I'm not saying you're not a superstar, but you came and joined the superstar. You Michael Jordan over here by yourself. And guess what? We was gonna see you. We was gonna see you. Now we seeing you at the end of the bench. That's
not getting no minutes.
And we want to see you against that talent. Like, we can see you at the high school level, but it's not the same talent. It's just not. And so we want to see how you can compete when you're playing against a stacked team. So stay where you're playing. Like, do that. As opposed to, unless you just want to win. If you want to go win it all and you don't care about your contribution, hey, rock out.
I personally know so many athletes who unfortunately lost out on offers, had schools that did offer them, but
didn't see them.
So, I mean, they had to do what they needed to do. Like, you got to see the kid play. Like, did the kid develop? And I've had some conversations with coaches, and I get it. Sometimes you might get a kid just based off the program they were in. Like,
Right. Like, if that's a good program, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to work hard. Absolutely.
Right. But for the most part, the coach you gotta play. Like,
we want to see you play.
You gotta get on the floor.
First of all, I told you about the list. When we get to, we got 10 courts to be at. So when I'm at this court for a hot 3 minutes and 58 seconds, please do something while I'm here. Like, show me just a little bit of something so I can be like, hey, you know what I saw her? She got in. Boom, boom, boom. And then I moved on. I can't keep coming over here twirling my thumbs. And I'm missing. I got to work. I got a boss.
And coach asked me, how did so-and-so look? And you got to say,
well, she didn't really get me in. Then I had to run over to court 59.
That's hard.
It's definitely challenging. Stick to it. But if you feel like you should move, like no, she didn't move. The Special K kid, I know she went to Adidas. But her team just went to Adidas. So she technically didn't move. Right. I think I can't even, I don't have any advice in that regard because it's just unfamiliar to me. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Ask the right questions. I think that's what we go back to.
Absolutely.
Ask the right questions. Like,
and then be in a program that's going to develop you.
Yeah.
Because our AAU workouts, when I was in AAU, was the hardest workouts of my life. When I got to college, I was like, oh, y'all, hey, this is nothing. Okay,
Listen,
AAU, we were dying.
We were.
Dying to a boot camp.
But you know what is crazy? I don't think.
Oh, it's different. They can't. They can't die. They're not allowed to die. Mental health, and this is too much for the kids. And yeah, it's, but it's. I do believe it's a percentage of kids out there that are still willing to die.
Yeah, because I work out. I remember crying to my daddy. I don't want to go to practice today. Like, you better get your butt in that gym. Man. Like. But when you got there, like you had all the smoke. Like it was fun. It was competitive. It was like
we used to have this like gut feeling. Like, man, we finna go in. It's finna be bad. Every day. It didn't go away. This was like for 4 years. Every time we were on the way to work, I was like, here we go with this.
Yep.
But it was worth it. And then we got better. I think that was another reason that helped us buy into it. We're not in here just doing lane line shooting and weave. No, we're going I'm coming at you.
11 man would never be the same.
What?
Like,
what? I want to be out here the whole time. I don't care about no sub.
I am fighting for the ball. Like, what?
Like a coach.
You mean to tell me, like, y'all finna walk up? I'm not walking off the court. I needs the ball.
Yes.
And I'm going the other way.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely, man, I talked to so many people today. It's just like, it's different. Which it is. And I mean, it's life. It's going to happen. It's just a journey. It's a cycle. That's the way it goes. But boy, were those the good days.
Yes. I miss it.
8:00 pressing full court. What you talking about? First game?
Full court. Full court.
Just had a sausage McGriddle. I'm ready.
In you.
I'm ready. I'm activated. But full court, deny. You not getting it 10 seconds. All right, yeah, it's serious.
All over the place.
Mm-hmm. That was the time.
Yeah.
Now we in 2-3 zones, which is cool. A good 2-3 zone to do you something. Be able to change it up. But back 8:00 first game.
Full court, man to man.
Full court. You better stretch. You better get ready. You better put your ankle braces on. Where's your power rank?
Facts. That is a fact.
Oh man, that's insane. We used to play like 3, 4, 5 games a day. That's insane.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Think about it right now.
To think about that, like, absolutely not.
Eat some Doritos, some orange peels.
I talk about that, like my hot Cheetos, honey bun, Capri Sun. How was we doing that in?
It was bad.
4 games.
It was bad at the what is it? The Field House in Plano. They used to sell like slushies. Like, we can go get a slushie after the game, and then
you ready to play again?
Tongue all, mouth all blue,
red and blue.
Everything blue.
Yo, my daddy used to be like, I'm gonna go get you this Snicker. Like, I had a Snicker all the time. I'm talking about that's for energy. Like,
what was with them in the Snickers though? You hungry? No, I got a Snicker for you. Like, I don't want no Snicker.
Snicker. My daddy loved getting me a Snicker. That's gonna give you some energy. Hey, what?
I don't know what commercial that was.
Snicker did it. Y'all Snickers, y'all did a good job because that was the basketball thing.
I'm trying to tell you. Then I think about the Elite Sock wave. I think about the Skylar Diggins headband wave. Like, he wanted every color. It was insane. Like, man, that's nostalgic. Every Foot Locker. You walk in a Foot Locker and the whole wall is Elite Socks.
Yep.
Oh, man. That's insane. We paying $15, $16 for one pair.
One pair. One pair.
But you can't even see in these ankle braces. But whatever. That's a story for another day.
Now, if y'all want some different socks, you
see how we lined that up?
It's just different apparel. Shop the merch. Jay, what would you say is the best thing about your conference?
Whew, man. Look, my conference is really good.
Yeah.
Like, for us to be at the mid-major level, which is something that we're trying to explain to our kids at this point. Because we got 10 new players this year. So we got a roster of 15 with 10 brand new kids that weren't with us last year. And we just came off a 7-game win streak. So, like, they're feeling real good. Mm-hmm. It's like, baby, the Summit League. Like, I'm happy. I'm happy that we've won these games. We're figuring out how to win and win in close games at the end. But the Summit League. And so it's it's a very disciplined, will make you pay for your mistakes league. It's a shooter's league. You make one mistake, one wrong move, that three's going in. You can't double because the kick out, it's an absolute made 3, not a made 2. It's a made 3. And so much respect to the Summit League. Absolutely. I didn't know anything about it before I got here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Until I got here, I was made aware very soon.
Yeah.
They will make you. Our first conference game last year, they hit 11 threes in the first quarter.
Oh, wow.
The first quarter. 11 threes. I was like, oh, this is this is serious.
So that's some real shooters.
Oh, shooters league, absolutely. But it's got a little bit of range. Like I think we're one of the more athletic, get after you pressing type teams. So you have a couple teams that look like that. You have some pick and roll, solid, steady pick and roll teams that's going to pick and roll.
Yeah. Somebody's
gonna mess up eventually. They're gonna get this pick or this roll. But they all can shoot. Everybody in the summer league can shoot. We can shoot. Like it is absolutely, we're gonna make you pay. And so it's a separation level in regards to mid majors. I think we're up there in being able to compete. South Dakota State is leading the way right now. They beat a couple top 20 teams this season. And played Duke to I think a 2-point game. And so we're on our way. I don't think anybody sleeps on a Summit League team when a Summit League team is on their schedule.
Yeah.
I think in any conference, when you get to conference, at any given night, anybody can beat anybody.
Yep.
No matter the level. SEC, Big 12, Summit League. But for us, you gotta be locked in.
Yeah.
And in your preseason, you have to take every game and get better.
Yeah.
Whether it's a team you're gonna beat, a team you might blow out, it's certain mistakes that we can't allow to continue because when we get to the summit, they're gonna make us pay for it. And so I think that's a really big focus for us right now. Because baby, when I tell you, you slip if you want to, it's made 3. Okay, you don't match in transition, that's a made 3. It's just threes everywhere. It's just threes. It's just threes. Like the SEC was big post players.
Yeah.
Big post players, crafty guards. I would say like the
Pac-12. SEC baby, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. But hey, you get past me if you want to. Go in there. I ain't worried about it. But at this level, where we are, you better go over that stagger.
Yeah.
You better be attached. You try to
go not go under.
Hey, you come in sick because you ain't pay attention to the scout clear. Like they will make you pay. Much respect to all the talent that we have in the summer league. The girls can go. Like they absolutely can go.
I love it, man. What is something parents and players should know about Nebraska Omaha that they might not know?
Oh, there's so many wonderful things about Nebraska Omaha. You guys should come and visit. That's the first thing. Whether it's to come to one of our games.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a thrill. It's gonna be a vibe. But hey, come to a baseball game. Come see some hockey. Come see professional volleyball. Nebraska's a volleyball state.
Gotcha.
So you're gonna see 6'5", 6'6" walk around, and they're volleyball players. It's gonna be a little disappointing as a basketball coach.
I just know that's a basketball player, and it's not.
You sure you can't? You don't want to come get a rebound, but they'll play basketball in high school, so they'll be at the state tournament going crazy. You look them up on Twitter,
and they're going to play volleyball.
Committed, Louisville volleyball. Oh, you're doing this for fun.
It's getting buckets for fun.
It is quite insane, but Nebraska Omaha, like our university specifically. I'm gonna give some kudos to our athletic director. I think we are a very organized university. In the athletic department, we're always going to be on the same page. We're promising all of our programs are success. All of them are successful. I think last year everybody won the Summit League championship except maybe like 2 or 3 sports.
Wow.
So we're paving the way.
Yeah.
We haven't been Division I that long. And we're getting to where we want to go very fast. We got the right people there, and we're intentional. We're not wasting no time. Still figuring out the scope of NIL and all of those good things, but definitely a place and a coaching staff that you got to come play for.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, it's about the kids. It's about the success for them on and off the court. And we're going to thrive in that. We're going to push you to whatever it is you want to do. We have mentors for our kids. So what they want to do professionally, we have a woman that they we'll meet with and can go and have dinner with, and that'll come to our games, or we'll have a mentor event. But we're looking out for our kids in any way that we can, and we want to win basketball games. Like, go get to that. Hey, we trying to get to the NCAA tournament. We've been Division I maybe like 10 or so years, so we've never been to the tournament, but that's our, like, we're really close. Yeah, we played in that Summit League championship game twice already. Oh, dope. So hey, we're on the way. We're on the way. I think it's just, come on, Texas, man, y'all gotta come with me, man. I'm trying to get some work for real. I don't know why y'all doing me like this. I'm close. I'm close. I feel it. I feel the right Texas kid coming. And
you be out here too. I love
you see,
like you be
standing on business
out here.
Yeah, in my little red. I learned, this is something I learned. I have to wear stuff that says Omaha, or that says Omaha, Nebraska. I can't wear stuff that says like Mavericks, because UTA. Somebody is a Maverick. UTA. I don't want to be mistaken for nobody else. Nebraska Omaha, black and red. Yeah, I got to get some kids up there. And people are like, oh, I mean, we're not going to Nebraska. Like, you got to come see Nebraska before you count us out. There's no way you just count us out and I'm not going to waste your time. Like, I tell you, like, hey, man, it ain't nothing out here. But no, Nebraska Omaha is a vibe. Y'all got to come check it out.
I just feel like after this episode, they looking up Nebraska.
Hey, get at me. Get out. Get some tickets to the game. We coming somewhere near you. Guarantee. You is funny.
Guarantee we can get some tickets. That ain't no problem. Oh my God.
That ain't no problem.
We still you funny. We start this podcast off with what's different in the game. I like to end with you, the person. What would be different about you within the next 3 to 5 years?
Whoo, that's a good question. I would say I would be much more knowledgeable in regards to the game of basketball. Maybe a little bit more in the profession, like into recruiting and the specifics that go into the job. But I think the game of basketball, learning offensive principles, what certain offenses they're running, like that's a Princeton action, that's the UCLA, that's the Chin, and then also being able to suggest defensive things that we could do at the time. Yeah. Like, hey, I seen this 1-3 run. I think this is going to be good for this game. Or maybe this possession. I'm not there yet. Okay. I've done this I'm just on my year 2, right? But I think to be able to think the game past, oh, you can run, jump, and shoot. Let me put you in a pick and roll action and let you go 1-on-1. Right. Like, I think it's some strategy and into the art of basketball. And then who you're going up against. Like how I love Bob Starkey. Yeah. And his ability to scout. I think it is phenomenal, the people he pick on, and then the ways he maximizes what he has. And so for me, that I want to be Bob Starkey. I want to be the female Bob Starkey. Yeah, I feel it. I want to be the female. I want y'all to know, like, hey, that assistant coach right there, she knows what she's doing. I love it. She's not wasting the time. She knows what she's doing. So I think that's definitely a goal for me. Now, where will I be? Only the good Lord know. Yeah. Hopefully winning somewhere, baby. All right.
I love it, man. I love it.
Absolutely.
Jaelyn, there is a 25 right now who does not have any offers, wants to play college basketball, and struggling right now because she hasn't signed anywhere. I think that's your camera right there. Can you look in that camera and give her some advice?
Stay after it. Absolutely stay after, because it's coming to a point to where the unsigned seniors, we're coming look for them. I think at this point it's been a bit late. It's hard to gauge on 25s at the moment, because it's like, what if somebody's been playing the long ball game with you and maybe you're building that relationship, right? So it's like, it's going to be kind of hard to come in and swoop you from somebody you've been talking to for over a year. But let's say that's not your situation. We're coming to look for those unsigned seniors very soon. We're actually starting to do that at the moment. And I'm not just speaking Nebraska Omaha. I'm speaking the Division I, Division II level. Everybody's looking. The topic is unsigned seniors. So stay after it. Keep putting in your work. Stay motivated the best way you know how. And it's going to pay off if you believe it's going to pay off.
I love it, man. This has probably been one of my best episodes in a minute.
Thank you, Beyonce.
Listen. And it's 11:06 right now.
Y'all, it's midnight.
Why are we filming at 11 o'clock?
Hey, it's just different.
It's just different. We do things different. I'm just saying. Listen, I need y'all to subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely.
Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all like. Follow the podcast. I want you to drop in the comments some of your takeaways. What was your takeaways from the episode? We're going to continue to bring you episode after episode after episode. And if you follow this episode, you already know what I'm about to say. If you're not following Instagram, I don't know what you're doing.
I don't know either.
Follow the page. It's just different pod.